How a homeless black man became a millionaire amid Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Rain sliced through the cold New York night like knives. The streets gleamed, soaked under pulsing neon lights. People rushed past, heads down, clutching umbrellas that barely kept the wet from drowning them. In the heart of this chaos stood Ethan Cole, slick suit ruined, eyes tired, hands trembling. Once, he'd built companies, made millions, trusted by the biggest names. Now, his startup was on the edge of collapse, and his world crumbling like dry leaves blowing through the gutters. Then, as if from the shadows themselves, she appeared. A black woman, no more than 40, wrapped in tattered layers soaked through, her skin catching the scant streetlight in sharp relief. She stood still, calm amid the swirling storm. What held every eye captive was the necklace around her neck. It wasn't just jewelry, it was a blaze of pure light, glowing bright like a firefly trapped in glass. The kind of glow that... His gaze locked on that necklace, strange and alive in the wet night. His mind ripped open. A flash of a woman's face, soft, laughing eyes. His mother. Memories slammed him down. The secret late-night talks. The faded photos buried in dusty boxes. The weight of a family secret nobody dared to speak aloud. "Where'd you get that?" Ethan's voice cracked, rough as gravel. The woman smiled, slow and knowing, like she held all the answers. "It belonged to your mother," she said, voice low and steady, almost a whisper stitched from the rain. "I'm here to remind you of everything you've lost, everything they don't want you to find." Thunder rumbled nearby, but the air between them held a different storm, one of secrets and unfinished stories. Ethan swallowed hard, his hands casting shadows over his face. Questions spilled out, wild and desperate. Who was this woman? How did she know? And what twisted history did this glowing necklace hold? "Powerful people," she warned, her eyes sharpening. "They'll do anything to keep those truths buried. They've followed you, watched you, waiting for a moment to strike." Ethan's heart hammered as the city's noise faded to a tense silence. Every drop of rain sounded like a ticking clock. Was he ready to open that door? Could he face the mess of lies, pain, and betrayal locked inside his past? The necklace pulsed. It was a haunting reminder of love, of loss, and of a connection deeper than blood or business deals. Ethan's mind wrestled with what this meant for his future. Could he abandon his crumbling empire to chase ghosts? Or would those ghosts consume him before he even started? Suddenly, a voice sliced through the night from the darkness nearby, low, cold, and sharp as a blade. "Are you ready to uncover the real story of who you are, Ethan?" His breath caught. The rain didn't seem so cold now. The real storm was just beginning. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important warning. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube removed their subscriptions without notice. Take a quick look at the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content that's coming. And since you're here, drop a powerful like that really helps me with the algorithm. Oh, and let me know in the comments, what city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's interact. The voice echoed into the dark, sending a chill down Ethan's spine. He turned, heart pounding, squinting into the shadows where the voice came from. The silhouette grew clearer. Another figure stepped into the light. It was a man, tall and imposing, his face shrouded in mystery, but with an unmistakable glint of authority in his eyes. Ethan felt a pulse of recognition, but couldn't place where or when. "Who are you?" he croaked, his throat tightening as the air between them crackled with tension. The man just smiled, a cold, calculating smile that felt like ice on Ethan's skin. "I'm the one who can give you what you're seeking, or I can take everything from you." Lightning split the sky, illuminating the man's face for a heartbeat. It hit Ethan like a hammer. This wasn't just any stranger. This was Blake Mercer, former mentor turned rival, a name that sent whispers of dread through the startup world. Ethan's breath caught. "What do you want?" The words barely escaped his lips. Blake stepped closer, the scent of rain and danger swirling between them. "You know secrets come with a price, Ethan. Your necklace, it holds more than memories. It's the key to unlocking a legacy that's been hidden, and it can lead to power beyond your wildest dreams." Ethan's mind raced. Memories of late nights and whispered strategy sessions in Blake's office flooded back. But that wasn't the real issue. "You know my past?" he asked, the tremor in his voice betraying his fear. "Your past is a tangled web," Blake replied, leaning in, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "And your mother, she played a bigger role than you realize. There are forces at play, Ethan. Powerful people who will stop at nothing to keep you from learning the truth." Suddenly, there was a deafening crash, not thunder, but something else. A shattering of glass. The streetlights flickered, and for a moment, the world dimmed. Ethan's heart raced as he spun around, fear gripping him like a vice. A group of men emerged from the darkness, their faces gray, eyes glaring with unmasked aggression. Ethan recognized them, a mob of goons that had haunted his past. "Run!" the woman shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. She grabbed Ethan's arm, yanking him back just as debris fell from above. Blake cursed under his breath, eyes darting wildly. "They found you. I told you they watch. We need to move." But confusion rooted Ethan to the spot. Who was he supposed to trust? Suddenly, the woman pulled the necklace free from around her neck. "It's the only way," she shouted, her eyes wide with urgency. "You need to see the truth." In a blur, she thrust the necklace into Ethan's hands. It felt hot, pulsing with energy, and in that moment, the world tilted. A blinding light filled his vision, drowning out the chaos around him. The sound of rain faded into silence, and when the brilliance receded, Ethan was no longer on the street. He stood in a room, his childhood home. Pictures of his mother lined the walls, but they flickered and warped. On the wall was a family tree, stretching crookedly, a tangle's mess of names. One name stood out. There, at the root, was a name he never expected to see. Mercer. His heart thundered as memories he didn't know he had flood his mind. No, not just memories, but feelings of betrayal, secrets, and lost heritage. Everything shifted beneath him, like the ground splitting open. Before he could react, everything went dark again. The light swallowed him whole, plunging Ethan back into the stormy night beside Blake and the woman, who gasped as she clutched her chest. "What's happening?" Ethan stammered, confusion and fear mounting. "I never expected you to uncover this," Blake said, eyes wide, nearly pleading. "The truth about your family goes deeper than any of us knew." Before he could register another word, a piercing scream erupted from the distance. The goons were moving closer, shadows consuming the light. And then he realized the horrifying truth. The chase for his past had, a new storm of chaos loomed on the horizon, and it was coming for him. Are you ready to uncover the real story of who you are, Ethan? His breath caught. The rain didn't seem so cold now. The real storm was just beginning. Ethan turned sharply. The voice was familiar and chilling. It cut through the air like a knife. His heart raced. Past the woman in tattered layers, a figure emerged from the shadows. Tall, confident, someone he never expected to see again. "Jack?" Ethan whispered, disbelief flooding his voice. Jack Harper, an old friend turned ruthless business rival, stood there, framed by the neon lights. A flicker of the past ignited, a friendship built on dreams and ambition, then twisted by betrayal. Jack's smile was smooth, but something dark hid in his eyes. "So, you're not as lost as I thought, Ethan," Jack said, his tone teasing, even mocking. "A glowing necklace and a mysterious woman? Classic. But you really think you can outrun the truth?" Ethan's chest tightened. Memories flooded back. Their last conversation had been a shattering argument. Accusations flying. Trust crumbled. He had poured his soul into Jack's vision, only for Jack to abandon him for corporate giants. "Why are you here?" Ethan snapped, his voice echoing against the slick pavement. "Didn't you know?" Jack stepped closer, a predator closing in. "I know everything about your mother. It's not the first time I've seen that necklace." Ethan's pulse thundered in his ears. "What do you mean?" Jack leaned in, the rain-soaked street fading away, the crowd shrinking. "Your mother was, while things were being stolen, Ethan. You think her necklace is special? It's a key to more than you understand. And your whole life has been a lie." The woman beside Ethan shifted, her calm demeanor cracking. "No, that's not true," she murmured, uncertainty creeping into her voice. But Ethan was lost in the whirlwind of Jack's revelation. His mother? Question mark. A thief? Every cherished memory shattered, every late-night chat tainted with a new stain of betrayal. "Stop! Just stop!" he breathed, hands shaking. "You need to know the whole story, my friend. It's not just about a necklace. It's about power, control. Your family's legacy runs deeper than you think. They want it buried, but I can help you dig it up. Are you in?" Ethan gaped, the rain pouring harder now. The city blurred around him. How could it be? Jack had always been the ambitious one. If he held the answers, what dark secrets did he hide? Suddenly, a loud crash echoed. A car skidded into the street just beyond them, tires screeching. The massive steel veered dangerously, sending sparks and metal scattering. People screamed, thrown into chaos. Ethan instinctively reached for the woman. She stumbled back, slipping on the wet pavement. He caught her arm, pulling her close. "Are you all right?" he shouted, over the noise, but she wasn't focused on him anymore. Her eyes were fixed behind Jack, widening in horror. The air thickened with tension, confusion spiraling. Jack turned, eyebrows raised. "What's happening?" he growled. And then, from the wrecked car, a figure crawled out, face bruised, eyes wild. As they drew closer, Ethan's heart dropped. It was his brother, Marcus, the one he had thought lost forever, the one whose very existence had been erased from their family's story. "Ethan!" Marcus gasped, blood trickling from a gash on his forehead, but the fear in his eyes pierced deeper than any wound. "It's all true! They've been watching! You need to run!" Suddenly the night shifted beneath them. Relationships weren't what they seemed. The past clawed its way into the present, and Ethan stood frozen, not just on the brink of revelation, but at the edge of a new, dangerous reality. What secrets lay buried beneath the chaos that now surrounded him? Ethan froze, shock washing over him. Marcus was alive? He barely had time to process the revelation when Marcus stumbled forward, eyes wide and frantic. "Ethan, you don't understand! They will stop at nothing to keep us quiet." Jack smirked, but something flickered in his eyes. Fear? "What do you mean, Marcus?" he demanded, stepping closer. Before Marcus could respond, a shout erupted from the shadows. "Get down!" A sharp crack filled the air, and suddenly the night exploded into chaos. Gunshots rang out, echoes of violence against the rain-soaked pavement. The crowd screamed, people scrambling, panic becoming palpable. Ethan grabbed Marcus, pulling him close as he ducked behind a nearby car. "What the hell is happening?" His heart was pounding, thoughts racing. "I should have warned you," Marcus gasped. "They found us. They'll kill us all." Ethan looked over, eyes darting to Jack, but he was nowhere to be seen. A flash of silver caught his attention. Just a glimpse of a knife glinting in the darkness, but then it vanished again. "Jack!" Ethan shouted, but the chaos swallowed his voice. The crowd scattered like leaves in a storm. A thud echoed as someone slammed into the car near them. Then, silence. Ethan's breath caught again, eyes wide, fear tightening around him like a vice. Marcus's face was pale, his breath shaky. "We have to move, Ethan. They know everything. We can't stay here." Struggling to regroup, Ethan felt the weight of the night pressing down on him. The woman with the glowing necklace had slipped away, lost among the chaos. His mind struggled to catch up. But what about Jack? He was right here. Suddenly, another figure emerged from the shadows. It was Jack. But he wasn't alone. He had a gun, and he pointed it at Marcus. "You should have stayed gone, Marcus," he sneered. "You didn't think I'd let you ruin everything, did you?" Ethan's heart shattered. "Jack, no, put it down!" But Jack's eyes were cold, focused only on Marcus. Hatred twisting his features. "We all know your family secrets, don't we? You think I want that kind of leverage in the game? You should have been buried with the rest of them." Jack's voice dripped with venom. "Jack, please," Ethan pleaded, stepping forward, voice trembling. "This isn't you. We were friends." But Jack shook his head, a cruel smile curling his lips. "Friends? You think friendship matters? This is bigger than us." In that moment, something sparked in Marcus. "You don't understand," he shouted, fighting against the fear. "This necklace, it's not just a key. It's a curse. Our family's past isn't what you think, Jack. Our mother, a thief? No, she was protecting us. Jack scoffed, eyes narrowed, but Ethan could see the flicker of doubt. Protecting? By stealing? Yes, she was part of something much darker. You don't know what really happened. Marcus pressed, desperation in his voice. You're a pawn in their game, Jack, just like us. A muffled sound rose from the falling debris. The rain began to taper off. Suddenly, there was a loud explosion in the distance, and flames erupted outside the nearby building, illuminating the scene with grotesque shadows. Jack's head snapped towards the fire, distracted for a split second. Now! Marcus yelled, grabbing Ethan's arm. We need to run. As they bolted away, Ethan felt a surge of adrenaline, pain knotting his stomach. Memories swirled around him, memories he'd never considered. What did Marcus mean by curse? Were they all trapped in this nightmare because of a mistake made long ago? But Jack's voice cut through. You can't run from the truth, Ethan. I'll find you. He glanced back, but Jack was already moving into the shadows, disappearing. For a brief moment, disappointment stung. His old friend had turned into someone Ethan could barely recognize. A shadow of who they once were, swallowed up by ambition and greed. They ducked into an alley, rain slick underfoot. Where do we go? Ethan gasped, breathless, confusion swirling. Marcus looked back, eyes wide, panic thick in the air. You need to be ready, Ethan. The truth hurts. Family, legacy, it's not what you think. We have to find the woman with the necklace. What? Why? Punto. Because she's the only one who has the answers. And she knows what they want to hide. Everything we thought we knew about our family. Ha ha. It's all a trap. This isn't just about us anymore. Fear clutched at Ethan's throat, and the truth hung heavy in the air. Could everything they had been told about their mother, their past, be a lie? The rain turned to a light mist as they moved deeper into the shadows of the night, questions swirling around them. What had they stumbled into? And could they trust anyone anymore? Even each other? The hunt for the truth was just beginning, and it was going to change everything. Are you ready to uncover the real story of who you are, Ethan? His breath caught. The rain didn't seem so cold now. The real storm was just beginning. Ethan turned slowly, the chill in the air wrapping around him like of ice. The voice had come from a man obscured by shadows. He stepped forward, face illuminated by neon lights, revealing a hardened gaze and a scar running down his cheek. Dorian, Ethan gasped, disbelief creeping into his voice. A name from his past, his childhood friend turned enemy. A reminder of choices he'd made and regrets he'd buried. What are you doing here? Dorian chuckled, low and dangerous. Nice to see you too, Ethan. Things sure have changed, haven't they? A fallen star in a slick suit. The wind whipped the rain, and the tension crackled like electricity. Dorian's eyes flickered to the woman, and a slow smirk stretched across his face. Ah, the mysterious lady with the necklace. You're chasing ghosts again, aren't you? Dorian stepped closer, narrowing the gap. I have news that'll blow your mind. Ethan's heart raced. What do you mean? With a flick of his wrist, Dorian pulled something from his pocket. A small metallic box, gleaming like the necklace that hung around the woman's neck. He twisted the lid open, revealing stacks of photographs. Secrets, he said, dropping one on the ground. It landed face up, revealing a younger Ethan, laughing with unfamiliar faces. His heart dropped as he recognized the figures. Powerful men in suits, shadowy figures that had once crossed paths with his mother. "They've been watching you because of her," Dorian hissed, eyes flashing with malice. "And it's time you knew the truth. She wasn't just any mother. She was a player in their game, part of something bigger than either of us." Ethan felt the ground shift beneath him. The woman stepped forward, face pale, as if Dorian's words had knocked the wind from her lungs. "What do you mean?" Dorian's smirk faded, replaced by a grimace. "Your mother was involved in a network, Ethan. A web of deceit and power. Her necklace, a marker. She didn't just disappear. She didn't abandon you. She was forced out." The rain fell heavier now, grounding the reality that was unraveling before him. "No, that can't be true. My mother would never." Ethan's voice trembled. Dorian threw back his head and laughed, a sardonic echo in the storm. "You think you know her? Well, think again. The moment she chose to play their game, she sealed her fate and yours." Ethan staggered back, emotions crashing in him like waves. Anger, confusion, hurt. "You just want to hurt me, to twist the knife. You've always been like that." Dorian raised an eyebrow, his tone lowering menacingly. "I'm trying to save you, Ethan, but you're too wrapped in your precious ideas of family to see it. Look around. They're coming for you, ready to bury you along with your past." Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows behind Dorian, brandishing a weapon. The gleam met the light, reflecting off the rain-soaked air. Ethan's heart dropped. "Dorian!" he shouted, but it was too late. A shot rang out, a deafening crack that split the night. Time slowed. Ethan's heart raced as his world shattered into silence. The rain, the pain, everything. The woman's shocked expression was frozen in his mind as the shell of a truth fell around them. All he could hear was the pounding of his heartbeat in his ears. Who was Dorian? Who had his mother truly been? What was becoming of him in this wild, twisted game? As chaos erupted around him, Ethan realized one truth. The game had just become deadly. Ethan's breath caught, silencing the storm around him. The tension hung thick. Was he ready? The dark shadows of the city seemed to close in, the streetlights flickering, as if they sensed the weight of the moment. The woman's presence felt powerful, yet so mysterious. "Who are you?" he managed to whisper, his voice trembling. "I'm someone who knows," she replied, her gaze unwavering. "But understanding comes at a price." Before he could respond, a blinding flash lit up the night, a deafening crack following. It wasn't lightning, it was a gunshot. Chaos erupted, screams intermingling with the city's noise. People bolted in every direction. Ethan's heart raced as a sharp pain pierced his arm. He looked down in shock, crimson blossoming against his sleeve. "Ethan!" The woman rushed to his side, her hands gripping his arm, trying to staunch the bleeding. "You need to move!" Pain burst through his body, but adrenaline kicked in. He stumbled back, glancing around. Figures loomed in the shadows, faces hidden. Were they after him? Was this about the necklace? "Don't look," she urged, sharp and urgent. "Just run!" Without thinking, he followed her instinct. They darted down a side street, away from the chaos, his mind racing. Why were they trying to kill him? Who wanted him dead? The cold rain mingled with the warmth of his blood. Each step felt like he was moving through fog. Confusion swallowed him whole. They burst into an alley, a narrow gap between brick walls, where the rain seemed to wash away the noise of the city. Ethan leaned heavily against the wall, gasping for air. The pain throbbed, a reminder of what had just happened. Why did they shoot? He managed between breaths. The woman didn't answer immediately. She stared intently into his eyes, the glow of the necklace pulsating like a heartbeat. Because they fear what you might uncover, Ethan. This necklace, it's a key. It holds the truth, one they've kept hidden for so long. Your mother knew. She tried to warn you. Ethan's mind swirled. The truth? His mother? What truth? It felt like a puzzle with missing pieces scattered in the wind. Then, without warning, the alley was lit by another figure, one he recognized all too well. Ethan, get away from her. It was Aaron, his old business partner, but there was something off about him. His eyes were wild, almost frantic. What are you doing here? Ethan stammered, panic rising. I thought I could trust you. Aaron laughed, a hollow sound that echoed ominously in the narrow space. Trust? Oh, Ethan, that's the first mistake you ever made. It's too late for you now. He reached into his coat. Ethan had barely enough time to react. Bang! A second shot rang out, but this time it wasn't aimed at him. A gasp escaped the woman's lips as she fell to the ground, the glow of the necklace flickering crazily now. Ethan's scream ripped through the night, louder than the storm. No! He rushed to her, dropping to his knees. His heart shattered as he cradled her. The rain washed away the warmth of her life, the pulsating light dimming with every breath. Find the truth, she whispered, her voice barely above a whisper. Darkness clouding her gaze. And then, nothing. Ethan's world exploded. The weight of betrayal and loss crashed down on him. The pieces of his life scattered like the rain-soaked leaves at his feet. The necklace pulsed one last time, glowing fiercely before darkening completely. A final heartbeat lost to the chaos. He looked up at Aaron, rage boiling inside him. What have you done? Aarón, vaciado, el miedo, minglando su maldad. You debes de haberte hecho busca de la verdad, Ethan. Some stories are better left buried. El caos de la ciudad se fue a un silencio bendincolino, dejando solo Ethan en la verdad de lo que venía. En momentos sin precedentes presentes. Are you ready to uncover the real story of who you are, Ethan? His breath caught. The rain didn't seem so cold now. The real storm was just beginning. From the shadows emerged a tall figure, cloaked in darkness. A man, hard lines carved into his face. He stepped forward, revealing a glint of metal on his shirt. An emblem that made Ethan's heart lurch. Who the hell are you? Ethan managed to whisper, anxiety creeping into his voice. The man smirked, holding up a hand. Let me make this easy for you. I'm here to tie up loose ends. His eyes darted to the woman beside Ethan. The necklace glowed brighter, illuminating their faces, mixing light with the encroaching darkness. Don't listen to him, Ethan. He's dangerous. Her voice trembled, still calm, but unmistakably urgent. Dangerous? The man laughed, a harsh sound echoing against the rain-soaked pavement. Danger is relative. I'm here to offer you a choice. A choice? Ethan echoed, the pounding in his chest now a deafening drum. What choice? Your past is a puzzle waiting to be solved. You seek answers, and I can provide them. Or take you down a path you won't come back from. His gaze shifted between Ethan and the woman. You'll never escape the truth about your mother. Not while I'm around. Ethan's throat felt tight. The words hung heavy like lead, squeezing the breath from his lungs. What do you know about my mother? She knew too much. That necklace, it's a key. A key to what she left behind. Secrets, Ethan. Secrets powerful people want buried. What do you mean? Ethan's voice cracked, the weight of unknown histories pressing against him. The man chuckled darkly. Everything you thought you knew is a lie. Your mother's devotion, her love, all a facade, part of a bigger game. The woman stepped closer to Ethan, her eyes fierce. He's lying. It's not true. But the man pressed on, eyes glinting with a predatory intensity. You think she was just a mother? She was more than that. A player in a dangerous world, and she made choices that could cost you everything. A blinding flash of lighting cut through the sky, illuminating the alleyway, casting chaotic shadows around them. Ethan stumbled back, shaking. What choices? He needed answers, but dread knotted itself in his stomach. Suddenly, the woman gasped, her hands clutching the necklace. No, it can't be! Ethan's gaze darted between them. What can't be? A man's expression turned grave, his voice dropping to a whisper. You have talents, Ethan. Skills buried deep. She wanted you to find them. Just then, a low rumble of thunder grew louder, matching the heartbeat thrumming in Ethan's ears. The woman's expression shifted painfully, realization dawning with despair. You don't know who you are, what you're capable of. Stop, Ethan shouted, panic crashing over him. What does that mean? But before she could answer, an ear-splitting explosion shook the ground beneath them. Glass shattered, and a fireball erupted from a nearby building, sending sparks and debris into the air like scattered fireworks. Ethan fell to the ground, heart racing, instinctively shielding himself. Get up, the man yelled, pulling him to his feet. They're here! Ethan's mind raced. Who was they? Suddenly, everything blurred together. The woman staggered back, eyes wide with fear. You're not safe here. The truth will kill you. The city shattered around him, and with that one explosion, every certainty disintegrated. The man's grip tightened on Ethan's arm, dragging him into the chaos. Come with me, Ethan. We have a lot to unravel. And remember, trust no one. As they fled into the rain-slicked streets, the enormity of it all surged over him. Truth, lies, identity, danger. How could everything he knew be a dream? The night held secrets darker than the sky above, and he realized he was just beginning to grasp the real story of who he was. Ethan stumbled, heart racing, as the man dragged him deeper into the shadows. Rain poured, washing away the remnants of his last moments with the woman. Voices and screams faded behind him, chaos swallowing the world whole, every muscle tensed with uncertainty. Listen, the man said, voice urgent. You need to understand the gravity of what they're chasing. It's not just the truth. It's power. It's control. Ethan's mind raced, But my mother! She was a mother! She couldn't have been part of something so dark. The man's gaze turned steely. You don't know her like I do. The necklace you hold was never just jewelry. It's a key to secrets buried deep beneath your very foundation. A thunderous crash echoed nearby, a cacophony of explosions mingling with the storm. A reminder that they were not alone. Instinctively, Ethan's grip tightened around the necklace, feeling its warmth pulse against his palm. And now it's time to decide where your loyalty lies. Before Ethan could respond, a figure emerged from behind a dumpster. It was Jack, his expression fierce, eyes wild with a manic determination. "Ethan!" he shouted, voice cutting through the downpour like a knife. "You need to come with me, now! Why would I trust you?" Ethan snapped. "You already betrayed me." But Jack pressed on, urgency flooding his veins. "This isn't about you and me. It's bigger than our past. We're in danger, and it's coming for both of us." The man beside Ethan shot him a look, fury boiling beneath the surface. "Don't listen to him! He's playing you!" Ethan felt his pulse quicken, tangled emotions racing through him. Suddenly, the ground shook. Another explosion nearby sent debris flying. He ducked instinctively, shielding himself. Chaos erupted, screams rising like jagged shards of glass, slicing through the air. "Get down!" Jack cried, grabbing Ethan and pulling him behind a wall, just as shards of glass rained down around them. Heart thumping relentlessly, Ethan peered around the corner. Everything felt surreal, too crazy to be real. But then, in the swirling chaos, he spotted her, the woman. She was standing there, her eyes wide, the necklace glowing stronger than ever. "Ethan!" she called, voice echoing through the din. "Why are you still here?" he shouted back, desperation clawing at his throat. "Run! Get out now!" In that instant, a jagged bolt of lightning illuminated the scene. Ethan froze. The woman wasn't just glowing, she was changing. The shadows shifted, twisted around her, as if bound to the light of the necklace. Then she spoke, a voice deeper, resonating through the storm. "You need to know, Ethan. I'm not who you think I am. None of this is what it seems." The ground trembled again, this time beneath Ethan's feet. The others shifted, eyes darting between him and her, confusion and fear etched on their faces. "What are you talking about?" Ethan gasped, heart pounding, brain racing. "Your mother, she didn't leave you, she transformed. And I am the secret to her power. Ha ha ha!" Shock washed over Ethan like ice water. "You? What do you mean?" But before she could answer, everything shattered. A crack split the air, sharply punctuated by another explosion. A blinding flash of light engulfing the alley. Ethan shielded his eyes. When the light faded, he staggered back. The woman was gone, and in her place stood a swirling vortex of shadows, the glowing necklace hovering in the center. "Ethan!" Jack shouted, panic lacing his tone. But Ethan was frozen, his mind spiraling into confusion. The shadows coiled closer, roaring with a sinister force, and reality twisted. In that moment, everything he thought he knew shattered. The truth was darker, deeper, and wrapped in mystery. As the tempest of shadows swirled, a chilling realization sank in. Nothing was truly what it seemed. Relationships frayed, stories unraveled, and the very essence of who he was teetered on the brink. Ethan fought the urge to scream. The storm outside mirrored the chaos within. What had he gotten into? The higher the stakes rose, the deeper the secrets dug into his soul. And as the last flicker of light faded into the night, Ethan understood that his journey was only just beginning. Ethan staggered as the swirling shadows billowed around him. He felt the struggle of truth and fear gripping his heart. The figure of the man loomed large, and the necklace pulsed fiercely, a beacon amidst the chaos. Out of the darkness, the woman returned. But this time, something was different. "Ethan!" she cried, her voice urgent. She reached for him, but her eyes were frantic. "Listen to me!" He stepped forward, desperate to touch her, to ground himself in her reality. "What do you mean you're not who I think you are?" But before she could respond, the ground erupted with a deafening roar. The shadows split, a blinding light consumed them, and from it emerged a figure so familiar it felt like a knife to the heart. "Marcus?" Ethan breathed, nearly choking on the name. His brother's face emerged from the light, but there was something twisted in his expression, something dark. "Ethan," Marcus said, voice low and chilling, "you've got it all wrong. You have to listen. What are you doing here?" The words came out jagged, disbelief clawing at him. The last time they had seen each other, Marcus had been gone, erased. "I've been following you," Marcus continued, stepping closer, eyes darting between Ethan and the woman. "You need to understand, this isn't just about our mother, it's about the legacy." "What legacy?" Ethan yelled, confusion bleeding into anger. "What the hell are you talking about?" But the woman shook her head slowly, regret painting her features. "You don't know the full story. She had to protect you, Ethan." The shadows trembled, and suddenly, everything went still. Ethan's heart raced, the atmosphere charged. It felt like the calm before the storm, and then... "Enough!" Marcus shouted, voice booming like thunder. He turned to the man, and for a split second, Ethan saw fear flicker in his brother's eyes. "You can't keep hiding it all." The man stepped back, fear mingling with anger, and the shadows began to swirl more violently, drenching the alley in uncertainty. "You don't think they already know?" he spat. Ethan felt as though the ground beneath him was crumbling. His brother had secrets, dark ones. They weren't just shadows, they were truths about their family. His mind raced back to every conversation, every moment shared. The laughter, the love, were they all built on lies? "Tell me," Ethan demanded, desperation clawing at him. "What are you hiding?" In that moment, everything snapped. Without a heartbeat's warning, the woman lunged at Marcus, gripping the necklace. "You don't understand. It's not what you think." And in a flash of blinding light, she thrust the necklace at him. "This is your choice, Ethan. Choose wisely." Ethan found himself frozen, heart pounding in his throat. But it wasn't the glowing necklace that captured his attention. It was the truth of what he was holding. The awful, life-shattering truth. "Marcus, was it you?" he stammered, breath hitching in disbelief. "Were you part of this?" Tears brimmed in Marcus's eyes. "I tried to protect you, but it all spiraled out of control." In that instant, the shadows recoiled, revealing an unexpected figure at the edge of the alley. Dorian, no longer the menacing figure, but a face of despair. "You think you're safe? People will die if you don't." But before he could finish, a loud, bone-rattling explosion erupted from nearby. Fragments of stone and brick rained down as Ethan's world spun out of focus. The light from the fire ignited everything, illuminating the gathering shadows around them. Ethan shielded his eyes, trying to grasp what was happening, but the moment shattered as he turned back to Marcus and the woman. Something had changed between them, something profound. In the light of the flames, truths burned bright and painful. The necklace pulsed again, and just like that, Ethan could see it. Marcus was not just his brother. He was part of a web, tangled in deceit and betrayal, more extensive than he imagined. And then, everything went dark. All that remained was the heaviness of the night pressing down on him. What lay ahead? He couldn't begin to fathom the consequences of their choices. "Ethan, you have to choose now," the woman whispered, voice fading into the shadows. "Choose?" he echoed, heart racing, knowing one single choice could tear their family apart forever. The storm, once a backdrop, now surged forward, swallowing him whole. The real fight had only just begun. Ethan stood at the edge of chaos, heart pounding, breath hitching. The shadows danced around him, whispering secrets he wasn't ready to hear. The necklace pulsed in his hand, its warmth a stark contrast to the chilling reality closing in. "Choose," the woman said, eyes wide with urgency. "You have to choose who to trust." "Stop!" Marcus shouted, desperation woven into his tone. "He can't handle this! Not now!" The tension snapped like a fraying cable. Ethan felt time freeze, the air electric with unsaid words, unmade choices. Wherever he looked, past betrayals echoed louder than any clarion call. Dorian, standing in the shadows, searched Ethan's gaze. "This is your chance to end the cycles, to break free from their grasp before it's too late." "No!" Jack interjected, face twisted in anger. "You want him to dive deeper into that darkness? You want him to embrace a family legacy made of lies?" A roar of wind surged through the alley, howling like a wounded animal. The air turned heavy as Ethan took a shaky breath, feeling the weight of their words, their fears. The truth felt slippery, darting just out of reach, bleeding into shadows. "Enough!" Ethan's voice broke through, raw and fierce. "I won't be a puppet in anyone's game." Marcus's face fell, tragedy painting his features. "But you need to know what you're capable of. This power isn't just a curse, it's a legacy." The shadows writhed around them, and the street echoed with the distant sounds of sirens, drawing closer. A surge of panic twisted in Ethan's gut. Time was running out. "What legacy?" His voice trembled, desperate for clarity. Dorian stepped forward, eyes darting between the brothers. "The legacy of your mother. A legacy that wouldn't just protect you, but consume you whole. It's their plan." "No," Ethan whispered, disbelief choking his thoughts. "She loved me, and that love brought you here," Jack growled, frustration boiling over. "It's a love that could destroy you if you let it." The ground shook again, a reminder of the real danger lurking just beyond their fragile moment. Ethan's heart raced as realization washed over him. This was bigger than him. It always had been. "Help me! Help me understand!" he pleaded, locking eyes with the woman one last time. "What do I need to do?" Taking a deep breath, the woman reached out, her fingers trembling against his. "You need to embrace your truth, Ethan. Not just the scars of your past, but the strength in your choices." In that instant, the necklace flared with light, illuminating secrets locked away. It was a guiding beacon, a twist of fate, and as it pulsed, Ethan felt courage ignite within him. He knew what he had to choose, not just for himself, but for everyone in that alley. "I'll uncover the truth, but I'll do it my way," he declared, voice steady, power flowing through him. The shadows recoiled, and as if recognizing his resolve, the air around them shifted. A calm began to descend, settling amidst the chaos. But the storm was far from over. "I'll help you," Marcus said softly, stepping closer. "We'll face this together." Ethan felt a sense of connection spark anew between them. Brothers forged in the fire of a legacy that could finally be reclaimed. The woman smiled, but worry lingered in her eyes. "But know this, Ethan. Some truths are harder to bear than others." As the rain slowed, droplets clinging to edges, Ethan felt the weight of change behind him. The city pulsed around them, infused with energy that brought forth new beginnings. This wasn't the end. It was a new chapter. With his heart racing, Ethan turned to the darkness, ready to confront whatever shadows lay ahead. And just then, an idea ignited in his mind. Gathering his courage, he pulled out his phone, a thought brightening his spirit. "You all remember everything we've been through, right? That's why we need everyone to stand with us. You have to subscribe now to never miss where this story goes. Hit that like button right now to feed the algorithm. Let's get this out there. Flood the comments with your thoughts and theories. Let's keep each other accountable. And share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to know what's coming next. Don't wait even a second longer to engage with us. Together, we'll uncover the truth and redefine our legacies. Trust me, this is just the beginning. With renewed determination, Ethan stepped forward, ready to face the unfolding mystery.